Hello there, Sharon Seville here from First Executive Recruitment, part of First Group Solutions. Yesterday, my colleague was talking to a company we haven't dealt with before, and she spoke to them about what we do, and they were adamant that with unemployment set to increase rapidly, why on earth would they need a recruiter to help them find staff? So I thought it was worthwhile putting this into perspective with today's daily burst, because I can see the logic, but I've also worked in recruitment through 3 recessions now, and the figures don't lie. And just to give you a bit of background on those figures related to unemployment, if we go back to when records began back in 1971, unemployment was at 3.8%, and this is according to the ONS. These are easily checkable figures. The highest unemployment was way back in 1984, and I think that was 11.8%. And then, of course, the most recent recession of 2009, we saw unemployment and it toggled between 7.9 to 8.4% at its peak. The interesting fact here is that all of these recessions and the subsequent peaks in unemployment were quite swiftly followed by a continuous drop in unemployment as the respective sectors and the economy started to bounce back. And yes, unemployment unfortunately looks like it's going to kind of rocket to an anticipated 10% in Q2, which is about an extra 2 million people unemployed, which is a massive hike from the current 3.9%. And that's going to hit hard. How can it not? But as I've just mentioned, it will come down reasonably quickly if we turn our attention to recovery, just not as sharply as how it went up. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I've worked in recruitment through 3 recessions, and 25 years experience tells me it won't be easier to recruit skilled staff. And it's not lost on me that sounds contradictory, but the difficulty is all of this still leaves massive skills gaps that were there before because of the sectors that people are being made redundant in. And it is important to remember that the skills shortage pre-pandemic hasn't gone away, and it's unlikely to go away anytime soon. But even without the pre-existing skills shortages, when mass unemployment hits a country, employers don't generally find it easier or quicker to hire staff, and that's whether they're highly skilled or not. And that's not to say that they can't, because of course they can, but it can actually become much harder because volumes rise exponentially, and sorting out the wheat from the chaff becomes very time consuming, and that time can hit hard on much needed productivity output for any business. And if the right people aren't being brought in quick enough to make a difference to output, ultimately the economy recovers more slowly. It's a nasty curve, and it's a nasty curve that we need to avoid this time around because it's not a normal recession. So our job as professionals and as experienced recruiters is to really try and help businesses with the time it takes to navigate through this minefield, get the right people on board and help stop the curve so that output can increase more readily. Now, of course, businesses are far more cautious in a recession, and rightly so. But it's worth noting that the impact of high unemployment can have the opposite effect to what some businesses might expect. And I do hope this helps companies think about ways to speed up their recovery post-lockdown and post-pandemic. And I'm certainly to have a chat with you if you'd like more insight. But that's it for today. I wanted it nice and quick, and thank you for watching. See you all on my next burst later in the week, and as usual, please stay well, stay safe and stay positive. Thank you very much.